The Nephilim, it's only used 2 times in the Old Testament, as you know.
Right.
Genesis 6 and Numbers 13, 32, 33. Now, why this is important, Doug, it's critical this. People confuse demons with fallen angels. They're 2 separate classes. And you know this. I guess I'm out because I hear everything's a Nephilim, and that's not true. You know, and I understand it's translated giants, but then we get into the Rephaim 33 times. Now, why is this critical? Because now we're talking about, too, even in the Gort, the representation of Gort, genetically, you know, organized robotic technology, that's where everything's headed now. So if it's consistent that these spiritual entities can manifest in the physical realm, then obviously they can manifest in anything that is human-related if it's open to it. So I'm just saying this. You know, Ray Kurzweil wrote Spiritual Machines, you know, but now maybe the next book somebody's got to take on is Demon-Possessed Machines Beyond Christine. And why this is critical is this. Every day, and I don't know how you deal with it because, you know, in essence, I guess when I say I'm odd man out, again, this isn't to be contentious, but I think there's a disservice being done to people when the word Nephilim is substituted for demon and vice versa. They are not the same thing. You quoted extra biblical text. It doesn't matter if it's a book of Giants, book of Enoch. That is not what that teaches, you know, or even declares. So, you know, here's the thing. I believe that the confusion is for a purpose to hide, mask, or camouflage the presence of fallen angels who, you know, 1/3 of heaven's host of angels fell with Lucifer, who became Satan. Now we're dealing with that. So the deception is going to be so great, and that will I'll just leave that there. So we have this point right now where even whether it's CERN or any of the, you know, everybody's trying to find, quote unquote, the God particle. I think they'd be smarter finding the God who created the particles and repenting. That's me. But the point being is that, you know, this is why terms mean everything, because you know you've heard it. Everything's a Nephilim. Everything's a Nephilim. Goliath was not a Nephilim. Goliath was a Rephaim. And so I think it's important that people understand that after Numbers 13, 32, and 33, everything is referred to as Rephaim, or the Rapha, the dead, or a derivation of the dead. Even the Psalms tell the dead rise to praise thee. You know, the point is that I just want to establish that so when we're using terms tonight, that people understand. And again, this isn't to be contentious, but I think, Doug, you and I went round and round on this issue, you know, until I finally sent you the thing that I wrote. So what I'm just saying simply is this, is that the people that do not believe in God or his heavenly host and that 1/3 of the angels fell, they automatically accept the fact that there are extraterrestrials, you know, interplanetary things, and obviously the ancient Hebrews thought that the stars were the abode of the angels. So there's no contention there. Continue.
No, I agree, and I think we can set aside and I will agree that you know, the Bible is not clear on the origin of the Nephilim. It's not mentioned in the Bible. Presumably, God didn't think it was that important for us to know. What we do know is that you're right. Angels can take corporeal form, and that there is a difference between fallen angels and the demonic realm and demons themselves. Whatever their origin, they are not physical beings, whereas fallen angels are, and fallen angels, as we're taught in the New Testament, can present themselves as an angel of light. And I think that's where the true believers in the UFO movement are being deceived. And I say this with you know, all due respect. I'm not trying to demonize anyone, pardon the pun, because I think many who are in the UFO phenomenon are looking for answers to questions that they aren't getting answered in their churches, and so they are turning to those who are more than happy to provide an answer, which of course the New Age community, and sadly there's a real overlap between the New Agers and the UFO community. In fact, some of the real serious UFO researchers this past year have expressed some real dissatisfaction with the direction of MUFON, especially at the upper level, with MUFON embracing what is clearly some metaphysical beliefs instead of pursuing the evidence where the evidence leads. one thing that you never hear questioned in the UFO community when contactees report messages that they claim to have received from extraterrestrials is, how do you know they're telling you the truth? How do you, and as I started to mention earlier, as the 20th century progressed, the planet of origin of these entities changed, because science, as what we understood about the planets in our solar system, as knowledge of our solar system increased, and we realized there's nothing that we know of that could live in on the planet Venus, which has been described as a searing hot calm, or Mars or Jupiter or Saturn. You know, the planet of origin of these extraterrestrial entities has moved farther and farther away, always to some place where we can't verify the conditions for life on those planets.